to another episode of Inside IALR. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're here to talk about sort of a new up-and-coming program here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, one that has been launched thanks to a Tobacco Commission grant. We have Mitchell Doss, who is here as our value chain coordinator. So Mitchell, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So to start, I've talked to you a little bit about kind of what you're working on, what you're doing here. You've been here since July. And you've been on a previous podcast. Your experience goes well beyond the last 8 months. But tell us a little bit about kind of how your journey before you got into this current position.
I always have a hard time picking where to start, but the story starts in Gretna, Virginia. I went to Gretna High School, and being in Pittsylvania County, we really were allowed to apply to the Academy for Engineering and Technology, or Gov School. So that's what got me my first introduction to the Institute, was attending the Academy of Engineering and Technology. And through that program, it offered me an internship with Dr. Lohman here at the Institute, I think around 2015, 2016, which really kind of started me on the path down science, in the field of science, still not really knowing what I want to do. So after high school, I attended Randolph College, where I studied environmental science with double minor in engineering and data science. While at Randolph, I interned at the Institute once more with Samantha Smith in the still in research department, but we were working with doing drone flights and surveying vineyards and farmlands, and that was more optics, kind of going along with the smart table stuff. And then that finished. That was around 2019. So I finished up college in 2021. Came and worked here a year as through Virginia Tech as a research specialist for the Controlled Environmental Agriculture Innovation Center. After working there a year, they gave me the opportunity to proceed with my master's at Virginia Tech. So from 2022 to 2024, I was studying horticulture with a focus on potassium concentrations in hydroponic lettuce, as well as utilizing the smart tables to do plant imaging and robotics. And then when I was finishing that up in 2024, this position became open, and while I was doing my thesis, I applied to it and was given the opportunity, and I guess the rest is history, and I've just been working and learning my new responsibilities.
Yeah, I think you were the poster child for IALR, for career pathways. We love to talk about those. We love to talk about internships. You were the poster child for all of that.
I appreciate it. I try my best, but I appreciate them having faith in me to assume that position of poster child.
If something ever happens to you and you ever get fired or something bad happens, we're going to have to do a lot of scrubbing on our website.
Oh, no.
Daniel's probably going to cut that out.
It's okay. No, keep it in there. It adds character.
Feeling good today. Just reading the title, Value Chain Coordinator, to me that means very little. I don't really understand what that means just by the title. I think it's not. So tell us a little bit about kind of big picture, kind of what are you trying to do? What is your role and what are you trying to do?
Well, that's a great question. I think the value chain coordinator position name is so vague because it's kind of answering a vague question. Or not a vague question. It's a multifaceted problem with multifaceted solutions. So, you can apply different solutions to the problem at hand. But mine mainly with the food system, because I know there's different value chain coordinations with different job sectors, but mine is currently trying to create a local food system that is not only robust and efficient, but profitable. We're really looking out for the farmers. We want to introduce them to, they currently have a marketplace, of course, because they're successful farmers, but we want to bridge the gap between, diverse marketplaces so that we can allow the farmer to introduce its locally grown produce to a new or different marketplace at their price point, and at the same time gain greater access for the consumer to that locally produced local produce. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the big picture, and there's many ways you can go about it, but that's really just trying to promote the local farmer.
So promote the local farmer and make sure that basically provide opportunities for them to have access to more markets, and then give consumers access to more local products.
Exactly, yeah, because it's in today's world, you can pretty much achieve a lot of things through different perspectives, and the way the current system's going, you saw with COVID, a lot of supply chains shut down, and we got cut off from a lot of food, and like the shipments we're making, and when we were in the air, we were producing this food, and it just wasn't staying in the area. So I guess it's just introducing more facets to keep things local, I guess. That's probably the best, I guess, realm of what the job is.
Right. I know when I talked to you a few months ago, just kind of talking about what you do here, it was very much you were in the kind of just exploring the area, researching, talking to producers, talking to people who run these kinds of, I guess, related businesses and related systems. So talk to me about so far, kind of what you've seen, what you've found. What are the what have you found so far?
Great question. So being boots on the ground, like the food system is already in the area. Like it's pretty much an ecosystem. It's going to be there regardless. It's just how healthy it is. So mainly my area falls in the Southern Virginia region, but I mean, we're not opposed to working outside of the Southern Virginia region. But within the region, there's already food auctions in place, such as Foothills Farmers Auction and Southern Virginia Produce Auction. One's based in Franklin County, and the other one is based in Charlotte Courthouse. And then there is 4P Foods, which is kind of a little bit larger of a production. They're based in more Northern Virginia, but they work with farmers as far as Southern Virginia and in North Carolina. Then there's some programs out in Roanoke. There's an institution called LEAP, and they work with 4P Foods, and they kind of serve the Roanoke area as a kind of a food hub. So it's really kind of taking in what's in place right now, trying to see the gaps or the puzzle pieces that we can put in to connect those already established resources to our already established farmers. But one thing, I guess, with the whole thing referencing gaps, it really got me an opportunity to really study what my position is, because I'm coming not from this field. So it was really, really nice to really get the idea of what the initial gap was, which is how the farmers are so big. Like they are focused, they are best at being farmers. In today's world, they're having to market themselves, and sometimes they just don't have the time or resources. And then when you look at institutional buyers, sometimes they get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of farmers, or if they're looking for a specialty crop. So there's a gap between that right there, which is not something you really want in a local area or in any area. So that's a gap that I feel like I've really noticed. And I guess a secondary one that has kind of popped up, that kind of builds on what I've seen recently, it's a smaller one, is that some of the food systems that are already in place are actually really associated with religious, groups, a lot with the Mennonites and Amish and German Baptist Church. So that's going to be some interesting stuff looking toward in the future, because, like I said, there's already food systems in place. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. But when you want to change food, you got to change everything. And if you're coming from an area that has a lot of not only, I guess, core values involved with it, it might be a little bit of a little bit interesting perspective. And I look forward to kind of seeing how it works. But that's some stuff I've seen so far, with I guess more so in the local system.
Right. Well, I mean, what you're talking about is identifying gaps. And you're saying that there's already a system in place, so it's not like you have to come in and blow everything up and change everything or add in a bunch of new things.
Exactly.
Connect these existing. I would imagine a lot of what you're doing is trying to connect these existing resources.
Yes.
Together.
Yes. Exactly. At the same time, you're connecting, but also you are creating new, because some of these local systems are such on a small scale that they can't really serve a larger area. So I can't really name off all the counties that I'm involved with off the top of my head, but if you're somewhere in Franklin County, and you service that Franklin County area as a small food auction, it's going to be kind of hard to, I don't know, I wouldn't say kind of hard. I'm sure there's logistics you could figure out with trucking and stuff, but it's just not much they can service around the Halifax area. Right. So what can we do to get the Halifax farmers and consumers getting goods from the Franklin County area? We might not be able to. So what can we mimic in one area to another that bolsters the entirety of the food system on, a more zoomed out scale versus local, like small scale local.
The list of localities, I pulled it up here
from
sweet. The notes you had given me. It's Bedford County, Brunswick County, Campbell County, Charlotte County, Danville, Franklin County, Halifax County, Henry County, Martinsville, Mecklenburg County, Patrick County, Pittsylvania County, Prince Edward County. Yeah. So that's a pretty large geographic footprint you're working in there. It is,
yeah, and it's all about location, especially with logistics and the value chain coordination. You got to coordinate the logistics, so it's more or less finding solutions that help everybody. But sometimes, you got to think outside the box, and that's what I guess the position's all about. These systems are in place, but sometimes you need a different perspective.
And I know you're about 7-8 months in, so you're still trying to figure out all the pieces of those different systems.
Yes.
Are there any kind of next steps you're seeing, goals you're setting for yourself as far as what's coming next?
For sure. I mean, you could always learn more. With such a diverse, I guess, topic in food systems, you could always learn more, always connect with more people. So that's always a step, I feel like. But we're actually planning out our first like a farmer workshop. And it's going to be called the Southern Virginia Region Food Initiative. I think right now we're aiming for April is the date. It's a date in April. And this is just an opportunity for us to invite some of the farmers in our area, or, I mean, within, I guess, driving distance of the Institute. Everybody's welcome, of course. And people involved with the food system to really have a chance to meet at the Institute, see what the Institute's about, but also see what my position's about, and as well as voice their opinions on what they're currently doing and what they hope can change, or what they can do is also collaborate with other farmers, because it's not just about the collaboration with the Institute. If we can bring two people together in the area that benefit off one another, but I can't help them, well, that's just as beneficial as if I could help them, if you see what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So that's a really big step I'm really looking forward to, because I get to see what the farmers want. And then I can take the information that the farmers give to me and really start connecting to institutional buyers, or even school systems, or just different facets for food, and say, hey, we have these farmers that are interested in revitalizing and changing the food system. Do you want to be a part of it? And what do you need? Because I feel like you could either start with the institutions first, or the farmers. But I'm really excited to start with the farmers first, because I feel like that's the most important member of the I guess the food web ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Without the farmers, you wouldn't really have anything. So that's why I'm choosing to start there, and that's probably the next step that can really be a big domino that causes a later dominoes to fall and shift into place.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is you're doing a lot of work connecting with those farmers, and then you have that in mind that you'll be trying to, and I would imagine you're building some of these relationships already too, but you have that in mind to start connecting those farmers with institutional buyers. Like that's what you see yourself playing.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this. It's all about creation of the relationship, and that's in today's world, that's rough enough as it is, because so many people have different viewpoints. But the thing is we just want to make sure that they're heard, and that we are here to help, and that we can bring about a change, and that and we want to start with them to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's been a wonderful opportunity. So.
Yeah. I love how diverse this place is, and there's so many random things that don't seem like they connect together, happening together. How do you see what you do fitting into our mission of economic transformation? How does creating effective food systems and value chains fit into the mission of economic transformation for Southern Virginia?
That's a great question. With the Institute's mission to serve as an economic catalyst for the area, to drive economic growth and transformation, it really aligns with my work, because we're directly contributing to the economic sustainability of local farmers. So that's producing a lot more revenue in the agriculture. And spending local money on local produce keeps kind of a closed loop system. The money staying in the area. So that I feel like with the increased revenue, growing agriculture, I guess marketplace, it's only a matter of time when economic transformation and growth follow that. So I do feel like it aligns very closely, because at the same time, we have economic development here at the Institute. We also have research. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, because I know my research stuff. I can tell you what's like kind of cutting edge, or what we found in certain crops, and switching over to, if you want to switch from field crops to hydroponics, I can offer that kind of research background. And economic development, if I'm having troubles like with, I guess, understanding business sides, because I don't really have a business background, I can kind of go to them and be like, hey, how can we help this guy out? He's trying to expand or trying to get markets in this area, and they might be able to offer me some information. So it kind of goes off a little bit more of how diverse we are. So we can meet diverse challenges with, I guess, diverse solutions with a diverse team.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you just said, and I think it's cool. Telly's used the word a lot, like we're a convener and a connector. I've heard that phrase said a lot, and what you're doing is also that, is literally just like bringing people together to try to figure out what the solution is. You're bringing the farmers, you're going to be bringing the industrial side, you're going to be bringing these different organizations who are involved in this all to the same table, trying to figure out how do we solve these problems? How do we, and like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, but how do we improve these things? How do we improve these things? That's really cool. Yeah. What have been some of the, and I know, like you said, I know a lot of what you're doing right now is kind of preliminary work, figuring out what needs to be done, what the gaps are. But what have, if any, what have been some of the successes you've seen so far from this position?
Well, personally for me, it's just not to sound vague, but I don't have much background in this other than like I know plants and I can talk to a diverse array of people. I've been proud of myself to be able to feel like I'm actually contributing to this new responsibility. So I've been proud to take on a new research topic, a new realm of thinking. So that's been a proud process. But honestly, I'm just proud of the whole, the message or the end goal is really admirable because I feel like the farmers are really overlooked a lot. And they're one of the most important foundations for our community. If you have a really booming agriculture system in your area, it's almost like everything follows. So as much as I'd like to say I've instituted raised farmers' revenue by X amount, I can't say that I've done that yet, but I'm learning and I have the desire to be impactful. So I'm very proud of that, but I'm also very proud of people's willingness to reach out. Because I research, I find a part of a food system that seems interesting. Like for example, the auctions. I couldn't really find ideal contacts for those, so I just started reaching out. Like, hey, who can I talk to? Through extension agents and stuff. Who can I talk to that manages this? And sometimes I get emails, sometimes I get numbers. I don't really like texted numbers because sometimes how'd you get this number? You could get a lot of animosity with it, but it's been really positive feedback when I reach out to people and they're like, man, well, yeah, you're a fellow person who wants to see this food system expand and grow. Like, well, I'll be happy to show you around our facility. I'll be happy to let you meet some farmers and hey, come on back. I can give you a tour of the area. So it's been surprising to me because usually when you try to bring about change, some people are a little bit stubborn or a little bit hard-headed with it, but people seem to be really opening up about it. So that's another aspect I'm proud of. So
yeah.
It's just people's willingness to acknowledge that we could be better and they're willing to work along with it. So I think slowly I've gathered stuff, and I think eventually once we have this workshop, it's just gonna explode, or it's gonna take off. At least that's what I'm hoping. I think it's gonna turn into something pretty cool.
So you're talking about connecting with people and all the going about connecting with different producers and things like that. Who are the types of people that you're looking to connect with now, and how can they get in touch with you?
That's a great question. Honestly, anybody associated with the food system, and honestly at this point, well, probably not at this point, but eventually consumers. I've been reaching out to, major players in the food system game, such as food hubs, food auctions, places where farmers go to sell or sell their goods. But I guess now once we have that workshop, we'll have input from farmers, so then we can start reaching out or receive word from institutional buyers, whether nonprofits, and then eventually moving on from that, even on the single scale, like a small scale consumer, because a lot of these food systems introduce subscription programs, such as food farmer buy-in. So a certain farmer will have this crop and he'll put an upfront cost and have a certain amount of people put up money for it, and you get a cut of that harvest. To just weekly or bi-monthly food, food drops, or and that's something that could be implemented in the future. So I guess just and there has been research to say that people want more local produced food, but I guess it's nice to associate a name with a face and hey, so and so just emailed me expressing interest in this, possibly in the future getting a subscription program on this consumer scale. That way I can communicate to the farmer, hey, I've been receiving word lately that people are really interested in subscription programs. Is that something you'd be interested in? So I guess anybody that has any insight, input, or has any value or recommendations, I'm open to hear anything, because like I said, you want to change food, you got to change everything, and everybody offers a different, diverse perspective. So you could say something that I hadn't even thought about, or so and so hadn't even thought about, that changes the whole game.
Right.
Not to be vague, but I feel like it's such a wide variety of solutions that I feel like I don't want to single anybody out. Like I don't want to say, no, just the farmers talk to me. I'll talk to anybody about it because I feel like it's so impactful for the area that anybody can get into it. I mean, anybody can make their voice heard about what they're eating and consuming, or whatever they're producing, or if you want to shift up and change what you're producing, because we have connections with the with the CEA Center being here. We have Dr. South. If you want to change from being a field crop to a hydroponics, or you want to expand from solely field crops to hydroponics, we can, we have, like you said, diverse people that can help you on the way. So if you reach out, I may not be able to help you, but I can put you in contact with somebody who might. So that's the whole thing. I'm willing to hear anybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for those who are interested in learning more, you can visit our website. It's IALR.org/value chain, and there will be all the information about the work that Mitchell's doing and this effort to sort of grow and improve the food system here in Southern Virginia. So,
Mitchell, thanks for being here. Really,
of course. Thank you for having me.
Megabytes, IALR's on-site cafe, features everyday favorites, convenient ordering options, and an eager staff ready to welcome and serve you. Our enticing menus offer something for everyone, from a fresh, well-stocked salad bar, wraps, sandwiches, and our rotating hot buffet offered on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Megabytes is open Monday through Friday from 9:15 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. To view menus and for more information, visit IALR.org/megabytes.